Tasmat tvamuttishta yasho labhasva.
Tasmat tvamuttishta yasho labhasva.
Jitva shatrun bhungsvarajyam samriddhim.
Jitva shatrun bhukshva rajyam samruddhan.
Mayevaita nihataha purvameva.
Mayaivaite nihata purvat meva.
Eva.
Nimittamatran bhava savyasachin.
Nimittamatram bhavasavya.
So he's saying Uttishta. Therefore get up, prepare to fight and win glory, conquer your enemies, and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Savyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. So, Uttishta, Kamalakanta, Tailokyam Kuru. When in Tirupati, Balaji, when we do the Mangalarti or what's known as Suprabhatam, we wake him up. We say, Uttishta, Uttishta, Garuda Dvaja. Oh, Krishna, who is traveling on Garuda Vahana, Kamalakanta means his eyes are like lotuses and is always with lotus-like gopis. Trilokyam Mangalam Kuru. Trilokyam means there are three lokas. One is the earthly realm where we live, then there is the heavenly realm, and then there is the subterranean hellish realm. So Trilokyam Mangalam Kuru. Mangalam means auspiciousness. So there we are waking up Lord Krishna in form of Balaji, and here Krishna is waking up Arjuna. Uttishta, wake up, O Arjuna, get up, prepare to fight and win glory. Glory is yours, but you have to fight and do it. Right? So we cannot say, oh Krishna, you take care of everything. Then what is our role? We should also fight with material nature and conquer it. And then when we do that, we are glorious. Then we'll be in Krishna's good books. Okay, purport. Rekha Mataji, read.
Yes, Prabhuji. Savyasachin refers to one who can shoot arrows very expertly in the field. Thus, Arjuna is addressed as an expert warrior capable of delivering arrows to kill his enemies. Just become an instrument. Nimitta matram. This word is also very significant. The whole world is moving according to the plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Foolish persons who do not have sufficient knowledge think that nature is moving without a plan and all manifestations are but accidental formations. There are many so called scientists who suggest that perhaps it was like this or maybe like that. But there is no question of perhaps and maybe. There is a specific plan being carried out in this material world. What is this plan? This cosmic manifestation is a chance for the conditioned souls to go back to Godhead, back to home. As long as they have the domineering mentality, which makes them try to lord it over material nature, they are conditioned. But anyone who can understand the plan of the Supreme Lord and cultivate Krishna consciousness is most intelligent. The creation and destruction of the cosmic manifestation are under the superior guidance of God. Thus, the battle of Kurukshetra was fought according to the plan of God. Arjuna was refusing to fight, but he was told that he should fight in accordance with the desire of the Supreme Lord. Then he would be happy. If one is in full Krishna consciousness and his life is devoted to the Lord's transcendental service, he is perfect.
Yeah. So what is your understanding of what you just read?
So basically, they're explaining that God has a plan and everything happens based on God's plan. We cannot think that everything in the world, everything in nature is happening by itself without any plan. And that is what foolish people think. And there is no perhaps and there is no maybe. There is always a specific plan. We as living beings may not understand it, but there is always a bigger plan that Supreme Personality of Godhead has. And most often, it is to help us how to go back to Godhead. If we really trust and surrender to Him, then His plan automatically makes its path in a way that you can understand it. And they are explaining here that Arjuna, and the first sentence was more about Savyasachi, which means that someone who who mastered the way of bow and arrow, and he was one of them. So he is called Savyasachi. Um, and they are explaining that Arjuna did not want to fight, but at the end he did fight because Lord Sri Krishna explained how it is part of his plan to have the Kurukshetra war.
Excellent, excellent. You are a very good teacher. So very soon you can
Thank you.
start. Yeah, you can take the Bhagavad Gita as it is by Swami Prabhupada, and you can teach your neighbors. Just like I'm teaching you, you should teach others. Very good, excellent. Anybody has any thoughts, any comments to add to it? So, whatever activity we should do is a fight, but it should be done in accordance with the desire of the Lord. You cannot say the Supreme Lord wants me to smoke bidi or drink alcohol. No. When we are fighting, it should be done in accordance with the desire of the Lord. What is the desire of the Lord? That all souls should come back to Him. Naturally, a father wants all his kids to come back to him, right? Like, it's not like it's a one-way traffic. Kid goes to college and never comes back. No, he goes to college. At some point, the parents want the kids to come back to them, right? So we should fight with material nature in accordance with the desire of the Lord, following the rules and regulations, the spiritual injunctions, and with a goal to, again, going back to our eternal Father. We have to. If you don't, He will be very sad. Right now, He's very sad because we left Him and we are here. And He's also sad because we are struggling with this material nature. Karshati, in one of the verses it comes. Karshati means we are struggling with our senses, with our mind, and we are unable to go back to Him. He has given all the tools and techniques, but we are foolish. We are unable to use the tools and techniques to go back to our eternal Father. Instead, we are trying to build a permanent home in a temporary place. This material world is temporary. We are temporary in this body, and we are trying to build a permanent house in a temporary world. Like the other day, Sheshdev was saying that on a property, if you have a mobile home, they tax it less. But if you build a pakka home, they tax you more. So even US government realizes that this world is a temporary place. So why do you want to build a pakka building when you can put a mobile home and continue to live? They actually give you less taxes. They tax you less. Right? So this is a temporary world where if you want to build a very pakka permanent arrangement, death will come and take us away anyways. So why try to build a pakka arrangement? You need a roti kapda makan. You do some basic stuff, but most of the time should be spent for Krishna. How to go back to our Father. But if you spend 16 hours on your career and no time to chant, Prabhuji, I haven't chanted. Why? No time, Prabhu. So busy. I have a new boss. He's making a life hell. Then you change the company. You find a job that is simpler, which is more in alignment with devotional life, right? Like when Prabhupada was there, one of the person went and said, Prabhupada, I work in a slaughterhouse. I do killing every day. So how can I be Krishna conscious? Prabhupada said, very simple. You change your job. Go find a new job, which will allow you to be a devotee. Same thing happened with Daniel, who is a very tall and well-built white man in our temple. When he first came, I asked him, what do you do? He says, I touch meat every day and I serve um, subways. He used to work in a subway. I said, Okay, I know it is difficult for you, but try to find a different job, quit that and go to a different job. He didn't find a different job for maybe 6 months, but eventually found a different job. And now he's very happy. He doesn't have to touch meat to serve to his customers, right? So there's always a way. People cannot say, oh, I cannot do devotional service. How have the people done before us? Learn from them. When I went to Srinathji, is in Rajasthan, you fly into Udaipur airport and from there you take a taxi. With most of the taxi drivers are Muslims and they're very irritated all the time. I don't know why they're irritated, but you could hear in their voice they're always irritated. So they'll take you to Srinathji temple. So there I found one old lady. She was making earthen bells. Normally bells are made out of bronze or copper, and she was selling. And I asked how much is the bell. I think she only took 10 rupees, very cheap actually. She had no interest in making money, no interest. Just sitting outside the temple, whatever the Lord sends it to her. She was just selling some bells with that little money, maybe 60, 50, 60 rupees per day, out of which she has to pay the person, the potter who made the bells. Maybe she was earning max 20 rupees a day. But she seemed least interested in making money, least interested, right? I think she even gave me a discount. She said, "आपके लिए ये कम में मैं दूंगी," and then she even gave a discount on top of her list price. So yeah, because her interest was in pleasing the Lord, making bells, so that other devotees can ring a bell in their home like that. She's probably passed away. When I met her 10 years ago, she was already like 70 or 80, probably passed away. But you know, she's not materially conscious. She's just Srinathji conscious or Krishna conscious. So we should come to that platform. If we don't, one more life will be wasted. All the time making money, 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 money. Right? So that's a lesson for us. Sometimes very, very ordinary people will teach us very nice lessons. For example, one Uber driver was saying, I asked him, do you buy stocks? He said, no. I always buy land or buildings. I invest in real estate. Then I asked why? Because I can see it, what my money is or where my money is. Whereas if I put in a stock market, other people will misuse my money and who knows where it goes. So very, very good realization he has, right? Very common people will teach you very uncommon things. Not like these people who deal with drug business, Bollywood stars, and one guy had to commit suicide for that or he was killed. And then some other lady comes and she was also involved in that drug racket. That's all nonsense actually. Okay. Dronam cha Bhishmam cha Jayadradam cha.
Dronam cha
Bhishmam cha
Bhishmam cha
Jayadrattam cha
Jayadram.
Actually, that was the wrong meter. Dronam cha Bhishmam cha Jayadradam cha.
Donam cha
Dronam cha
Dronam cha
Bhishmam cha
Bhishmam cha
Jayadratam cha
Jayadram cha.
Karnam tatanyanapi yodaviran.
Karnam
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 tatanyanapi
Tatanyam
yodaviran
Yodaviran.
Maya hatam svam jahima vyatista.
Maya
Maya
Mayaham
hatam stvam jahima
Tvam
vyatista
Jahimavista.
Yudhyasvajeta sirane saptanan.
Yudyasvajeta
Yudyasvajeta
Yudhyasvajeta
sirane
Sirane
sapatnan.
Saptanam.
Sapatnan means enemies. I never heard of this before. Right? Sapatnan, a different word for enemy. Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. This was before the war. Krishna is saying, already destroyed them. Therefore, kill them and do not be disturbed. Simply fight, and you will vanquish your enemies in battle. So Krishna is saying, simply fight. Mam anusmara yudhyasha. Elsewhere he says, Mam anusmara. Keep remembering me and fight. Means whatever the situation is, you always fight. But keeping Krishna in the center. Right? And of course, keeping Krishna in the center means following the rules and regulations. If there is a need to build a temple, giving some donations. If there is a need to move devotees onto a farm, giving donations. Using your own money to build a temple or a farm, and then encouraging other people to take up to devotional life. I actually saw land in Anna, Texas, which is somewhere between Frisco, where all the Daisies live, and the farm Wolf City. So it is 5.5 acres for 130K. This is expensive because it's closer to the city. So I called it's very cheap. Huh? Land there is very cheap. Here we are struggling because here temple means millions of dollars. The Bellevue temple, we have been trying to erect it for like 10, 11 years now. So much money is required. But in other parts of the world, you can get away with smaller outlays. So I called the zoning commission there, and I said, see, I want mixed zoning. This is right now residential zoning. Can I establish a home-based church? Because they won't understand what a temple is, this and that. So I said, in my home, can I start a church? And I said, can we do it? Or I don't know. Can you call this number? Nobody gave me a straight answer. I'm still trying to find out. So if you have money, you should start a temple, right? If you have money and you are able to buy land or build a building, there are enough brahmanas in ISKCON who will come and do all the rites, right? Like somebody will come and do the pujari work. Somebody will come and do, making flower garlands. Somebody will cook. We have enough staff. What we need is money, right? We have enough staff actually to do things. So right now, once the Bellevue temple comes, then we'll be short-staffed. So this is how Krishna operates. First, he will, think that you are in control, so you can do everything, and then he expands. Then all of a sudden, you will be short-staffed. We cannot do this. There is nobody to make garlands. There is nobody to do this. There are no enough Brahmana preachers. Then slowly, more and more people will step up and fill into that slot. That's how I became, right? When I first started in 2003, there were not enough people to teach Bhagavad Gita. So I took upon myself to teach Bhagavad Gita. So now I became a teacher, right? And then there were some people, there were not enough cooks. So some people stepped up. So Srila Prabhupada used to always say, start new projects so that new people will get engaged, right? Otherwise, you'll sit in a room, 4 people will be learning Bhagavad Gita, then they'll go downstairs, and 4 people will have prasadam and go home and sleep. Very boring. So we have to always dynamically expand, right? So we have to expand to a situation where we should feel short-staffed, and then new people will step up, right? So for example, Rekha Mataji has good teaching skills. So maybe she will step up wherever she lives, Bellevue, Redmond, wherever, and she will get 4 or 5 neighbors and say, okay, I will teach you Bhagavad Gita, guys. Come and every Friday evening, come to my home or Saturday evening, because she's doing Friday class here. And then she will teach Bhagavad Gita to the extent of her ability to 3 or 4 people. Then those people will say, wow, I never heard of this knowledge. Let me come to your temple. So now you have 4 new people coming to the temple like that. That's how we expand, right? Or maybe Gopal will teach some people wherever he lives, Renton or someplace like that, to some of his neighbors. Jaypal is already doing at his home. So each one of us should take, maybe Disha Mataji can teach in Hindi. By the way, Disha, what happened to my Hindi Bhagavad Gita? Chapter 4 or 5, whatever I gave you assignment.
I have a confession to make, Prabhu. I am not good in Hindi. I
Why?
have been
You are
struggling.
from North India, right? How come you are not good in Hindi?
I can't read Hindi well.
Okay.
My Hindi is very tuta-puta. So basically, I'm doing the translation in English and I'm trying to read that in
Okay,
Hindi.
then I'll give
It'll
you
be soon.
something in English.
It'll be done very soon. It's almost done. It's almost
Okay.
done, but it'll be done very soon.
Yeah. Okay, but you know Punjabi, right?
Prabhu, I'm a Sindhi.
Sindhi? So why don't you do in
Yes,
Sindhi?
very interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
why not? Do it in Sindhi. And then we'll post it on the channel. At least if one Sindhi hears you, then my life is successful.
ठीक है, okay, Prabhu.
Because I'll tell you, this is what on YouTube you see predominance of English, Spanish, and then from the Indian side you see Hindi, Telugu, Tamil. That's it. A lot of Malayali people don't show interest in putting in their own language. Telugu people, Tamil people show a lot of interest. Hindi people show a lot of interest.
Okay.
So you can
Then I'll do
study
in
in
Sindhi.
Sindhi. Why don't you do it in Sindhi? Okay. Then I'll send you
ठीक है.
chapters 1, 2, 3 also, so that you can have like a
Okay.
Sindhi series by Disha.
Oh my God.
Learn DG in Sindhi. That will be the title.
Okay, Prabhu. I'll try my level best, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay. Do that in Sindhi, and then I'll rewind and send you the previous chapters.
ठीक है, Prabhu. Okay.
Like, and what's his name? Naga Prabhu in my Saturday batch. He never posted anything on YouTube. So I gave him Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, 2, 3, and then he posted it. And now, out of his own interest, he's doing chapter 4 in Tamil.
Wow.
Somebody will hear. Don't think that
Okay.
nobody will hear. Somebody somewhere in some corner of the world will hear. Maybe there is some Sindhi guy in South Africa and he doesn't have Sindhi neighbors. He'll go to YouTube and say Sindhi. He'll type, right? Keyword. And suddenly Disha from Seattle is teaching Bhagavad Gita in Sindhi. Who knows? He may become a devotee, right?
Okay, Prabhu. ठीक है. I'll do it.
Okay, good. Okay. Jaypal, read.
Sure, Prabhuji. Every plan is made by Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he is so kind and merciful to his devotees that he wants to give the credit to his devotees who carry out his plan according to his desire. Life should therefore move in such a way that everyone acts in Krishna consciousness and understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the medium of spiritual master. The plan of spiritual master of spiritual personality of Godhead are understood by his mercy, and the plans of his devotees are as good as his plans. One should follow such plans and be victorious in the struggle for existence.
Yeah. So the plans of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, are understood by his mercy, Kripa. And plans of his devotees are as good as his plans. Like Prabhupada said, we need to have a temple in every city. And when he came, he had a temple in every city, but only in the major cities. Now, his disciples have expanded that to neighboring cities. Now, his grand disciples, that all of us, we should expand it to more remote corners. There is no temple in Olympia, for example. Once I saw a house in Olympia, it was 875K. It was like a 6,000 square foot home. If I had money, I would have bought it. It could have been a perfect temple, actually. There are so many rooms, huge hall. So you don't need a temple hall, right? The living room itself is a huge hall like that. So sometimes these crazy rich people, right? They'll build some building and then they get divorced or something, they'll sell off the building. So they have very good intelligence to build a very nice building, but then they don't have the intelligence to maintain family life. So you should seek out such properties and start activity. So what are Krishna's plans? Every soul should come back to him, and we are all his army. So we should ensure that at least our neighbors, friends, they should be trained in this knowledge, right? Sometimes people say, I follow Sai Baba. Okay, but Sai Baba is not going to take you back to Father Krishna. He will teach you mode of goodness, right? How to become a good person. But we have to take them further. We have to take them further by giving superior knowledge. Like, hey, there is something called a spiritual world. Here are the rules and regulations. Here are the step-by-step processes to get out of this material world. So ultimately, we have to be victorious in struggle for existence, in material existence. And in the end, get rid of material existence, become spiritually successful, right? Spiritual success is different than material success. Okay, we'll stop there. And any questions? Each one of you has a lot of potential. You need to think about how to use it. Each one of you can teach at least 5 or 10 other people Bhagavad Gita. If you have enough money, you can start a temple. So many things you can do. Okay, see you all next week. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.